Okay, you see this leader distance down here, this 39.25.
Yep.
Okay, when I go to my survey plat, it's not showing us, it's showing the distance along the line and the leadered arrow, but no distance.
Okay.
So you want me to redo it?
No, let me take a look at it for a second first. If I look at what this is, that is in text and it is annotative at 11 inch equals 150 feet. What is your plat scale?
I think 1 inch to 150 feet. I think that's what it's supposed to be. I hope that's what it is.
All right, so now is that same? One, if that is. I'm just going to do a little thing like that and then come back here and see if that's that same text. It is. Okay. So in here, first of all, we need to get rid of that. And it's paper text height. There we go. Why is it not? Let me set that. Okay, hang on a second. It should be. I don't know how you got that in there. There we go now. And let's set this. Now that should work. There it is.
But why did it do that in the first place, do you think?
Well, you had an annotation scale in there incorrectly. You had it set to 11 inch equals 150 feet.
Is that something I would have done in the settings by mistake?
I think you might have, when you added it, you might have just accidentally typed an extra one. See this up here, 11
Yeah.
inch is 150 feet. So we need to actually. Why won't it let me delete it? You got some other things. All right, so if I delete that. What on earth?
How about hit modify and change it to 1 inch equals 150 feet? See what happens.
Well, that would be All right, I guess. Yeah, see, that already exists. So let's go to this one. First of all, let's set that. We'll go to this one and delete it. One inch equals 150. All right, we say okay. There we go. Now we got to get that text again.
Well, the arrow on my leader disappeared too.
All right, we'll set them both back here. Let's see here. Oh, wait a minute. I know what. We now have to set this to. There we go. Now. Set that to east. And now there's your arrow. And if we're back here, everything looks good. Let's make sure everything here looks good. Everything all right?
Yeah.
Okay. I would maybe, by the time you're by the time you finish, maybe bring these in a little bit, maybe. Let's see. Oops. Yeah, let's see here.
How about let's just do the annotated again and see what happens.
All right. All right. So your annotation scale is set correctly down here. Now I'm inside of the model view here. So now, did you do it in
I did it in model space on the other page.
Okay,
So I can see what the point numbers were.
yep, okay, go ahead.
Okay, annotate leader, distance with leader, points. Oops. No, I did that wrong.
It's all right, just escape.
Hit a wrong number.
You're in the middle of the command there. There you go.
Okay, now you think that should be moved closer?
Well, not necessarily all that, not necessarily closer, but I would do something like you know, this except the problem is, see what it's doing to that, because it's got some kind of a yeah, see, it was rotated into 3D space. So now if it's at 0, now let's put this. Back up there. Now those two things, and if I move them, I'll just get them like, say, here. And then I should be able to take this and we'll go to the dot XY of,
There's that 11 inches equals 150 feet again.
all right, hang on a second, we'll set it. All right. What on earth?
I noticed that the 39.25 and the arrows on a different layer than the other dimensions.
Did you want that to be or no?
No, I want them all in the same one. I don't know why that happened.
Because of your annotation defaults.
Okay,
right here. I think, let's see what layer this is. That's anno boundary. Whereas before. Yeah, see, it's bearing text. So if you want those to always be correct, instead of putting these on bearing text, we'll put them on anno boundary.
that's where they should be, right?
Sure. Yeah, they can be anything you want, just as long as you're consistent with it and you want to, you want to keep them. The same. I think that's the right one. Yeah, the boundary, not the boundary. All right. So there's that, but now what on earth is going on with this thing?
With what thing?
This.
Oh, I do not know.
$11 equals 150 feet. 1 inch equals 150 feet. Hmm. All right, so if I were to. That responds correctly. Why is this? All right, so that reads correctly there. Really? Come on. All right, so that reads. And all right, that's a little better. And then now this won't be so crowded in there amongst it. Let's see here. So there you go. See how that's sort of visually at that same angle?
Yeah,
That's sort of what I was looking to do on these others. And I said, maybe let's put this guy. So I don't want to be pointing to that gray line, but so. Anyway, and that stuff, Mike, is, as you know, is just cosmetics, purely cosmetics. This you may want to do like this. Again, purely cosmetics, that's okay, but the fact, see, this happens to be a dimension. See up here, it says it's an aligned dimension.
yeah.
And there's a way you can control all that. Now, it's not necessarily worth going to all that effort all the time. But it's what they call the property that you're looking for is under the fit category. And I think if you set this to let's see here. There we go.
What was that command you picked? Text on arrows only?
Yeah, I selected it and then scrolled down. And under the fit category where it said fit,
Yeah,
the default was best fit, and it
Okay.
decided you could fit it. But you can choose these different options, and like one of them is arrows only, so it puts the number back in the middle. Or if it's text only, then it's going to put the text out and leave the arrows in the middle. Or if you say text and arrows, then they're both going to be on the outside.
okay.
All right. So just little things like that. And there's no real way, like when you set that up with the command that you use, you're going to get whatever it thinks size wise it can fit.
Right.
So if you need to go back later and do it, as long, if it's a dimension, then selecting that. Well, gotta select it. There it is. Look up here as to what it is and see like it's an aligned dimension. So that's actually the command that the Carlson command used to create that with, and it just created a dimension at the end of the day. Just like when you said annotate by distance, this is still just a piece of text, and this is a leader. See this up
Right.
here, it's a leader. So you can modify those to your heart's content. Now you got something here I noticed. That is a polyline on Plat Atherton.
Okay, that can be turned off. How did you find that?
Just
Oh,
noticed. Yeah. Well, it's a polyline. And it's probably just like a dot. So if I go back to here,
yeah, there it is.
see that? And
Yeah.
it's probably just a stray piece of something that got trimmed and never got away. Does it mean anything to you?
No.
All right, so then I would just get rid of that. And then, yeah, see, I got one of those weird freakish eyes that catch things like that. That's why everywhere I used to work, everywhere I've ever worked, they always made me do the QA/QC on all the Plats, especially the general notes sheets, because I can look at a set of general notes and a misspelling will jump out at me pretty quickly. So that's just part of my being a weird engineer.
By the way, that Jeffrey Hornman,
Yeah.
he and Amy Hopkins are friends. In fact, his son works for Amy Hopkins.
Oh, really? Well, how about that?
And Amy Hopkins came to his workshop.
Yeah.
And
Well, I was rather impressed with their credentials there. I didn't realize that Amy was also a geodesist or had started as a geodesist. I saw that he was.
yeah, and she was a Marine.
Yeah, how about that? So, oops. Now you see this line here, it's on access easement. You've got another line right here over top of it, a short one, also on access easement. Is that the same thing? Just a duplication?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, see now your dashes will line up correctly.
Right.
All right, and let's see. That can probably be, or no, so that it, no, probably not. Let's put that back the way it was. There we go. I was debating as to whether we should make sure we had the vertex inked in like this one or not, but when you do that, it makes the dashes on either side of the vertex twice as long. So you don't see the corners. Whereas, see like that one, that corner is there by itself. And if you turn this off, see now it goes through the corner.
Right.
But you see how this one is long and this one is sort of short-ish.
Yeah.
Now, you see these dots right there?
Yeah.
Those are part of the dimension, and it's where, like if you select this dimension, you see they're there?
Yeah.
And that's when, like if you were to set that as a dimension, you would pick this point, you would pick this point, and then it asks you to place it, and you would move the mouse up and down, and wherever you put it here is where this is placed away from those pick points. Now, even though you see these pick points with dimensions, they're always placed on a particular layer called depth points, which is right down here. And it is, by default, it's turned to not print. See that little fix in the printer.
Right.
So, so those are okay. You don't have to worry about getting rid of those. They won't print, but they're there to help you if you ever need to reposition, like this measurement that you're measuring
Yeah.
measures between the 2 points, the 2 anchor points of that dimension. So
Okay.
if I were, if I were to pick this up and move it, say, to here, you see how that's changing what it's measuring. So if I go to there, that's 103 feet from the other blue dot now on the over here.
Right.
So yeah. So so you don't now if you did want to say bring those to the same point, you would move it from there to can't quite snap to it to right there, except it's snapping to endpoint. Let me go to node. Now it's coincidental. And I could put this right there. Now, there was no benefit whatsoever in me having done that other than it just puts it at the exact same spot. Because if you see, if I choose this one,
Right.
that one happens to be, we can see they're very slightly off. Okay.
Yeah.
So just sort of keep that part in mind, that those points, if you ever see those associated with a dimension, they're on that layer that doesn't print. So they should be okay. All righty. Yeah, and I would very possibly consider, I'm going to put this down opposite the start of these. And I'll go back and fix those up here in a minute. Now I'm going to take both of these and move them sort of down like this. And then I'm just going to get this guy and grab the arrowhead and put it there like that. So now I'm pointing to that. You see, it's not got this sort of flattish looking
Right.
arrangement. And again, yeah, so, and you're going for readability. So now that I've got a position next to that, I'm going to move both of them together, get them down there a little closer, and then so any of these times, and you may well have to move these things, modify these, more than once. Now there's one right in the middle of that little bitty bit. So let's see if we can't clear that up a little bit. If I move this down here. And then, is that right there, midpoint? There we go. Flatten this out just a little bit to sort of match the others. Yes, that is way anal retentive and not necessary, Michael. So do what do what you need to do to get your Plat out the door. And but that should clear that up. Now, as to whatever caused that 11" equals 150 feet, I have no clue. No clue, but that was what was causing that to not show up. It was showing up over in the model space because it was set to be visible. But over in here, if it didn't match, and I remember, because if I look at the properties of this, yeah, see, it's back to 1" equals 150 feet. So that's all great. Yeah, so, well, I just don't know. And you've got, take a look at your line styles as it goes point to point. Like here, the pattern goes through that corner, and that may be okay, because I think for the most part, it looks centered here, looks centered here, looks okay there. So just, use your judgment. And if you need to, you can actually, break those. You can, well, they are, look, they are, that's an individual. That's a 2-segment polyline. So if you were to, there you go. Now they're both centered. And then this is just one across. And so that's fine. And that if I change this here, you'd see no difference because there's only one segment. But the pattern goes okay through all that, I think. And you might, bring that up to that. Now, I do notice, see how thick this is compared to this.
Yeah.
So that means that is on dimension text, and it has a line weight of whatever that layer is. This is on layer boundary. So I would set that line weight to be probably default, would match. There we go. And I'd also make sure that I'm exactly on those endpoints. There we go. All righty. That is your inset line here.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's going to be that over there. Alrighty. I think that's drawn in paper space, isn't it? No, must not be. Why can't I select it? No. Hmm. Well, there it is. It is in paper space. So I think I would make that a wee bit bigger. And then you could set the. Did you have a dash line? For that other one? Oops, let's get something that. And then I'd put it. I can't really put it in the back because it's in paper space, so it's over top of this, but. Let's see, there is a way in your page setup. But I think it is to. Print paper space last. Which is usually what we want, so yeah, let's not worry too much about that. All right, so that'll.
I noticed something on the model space drawing. Let's go back there for a second.
Okay.
Look at that. Yeah, what is that? What is that? Oh,
That's
okay, that's on the,
That's,
okay.
oh, yeah, it's frozen in the paper space view of that, but in the inset blow up, you've got it thawed.
okay.
All right.
Okay, I think that's it.
All right, sir. Make sure you save your work.
I shall.
All righty. And with that, I will send you the recording and you can put that in your archives. And let's see, what else? Anything else? I think that should be good, unless you got any other questions.
Nope, thank you, sir.
You are most welcome. You take care now.
You too. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.